Good morning, girls. In the previous session of session tracking, we learned the three different methods. First one is through cookies, second way was hidden form field method, and the third one is URL rewriting. One more way to track the session for a particular user is also available, that is session tracking using HTTP session interface. In this method of session tracking, container creates a session ID for each user. The container identifies the particular user by this ID. An object of HTTP session can be used to perform mainly two tasks. Number one is to bind the object, and the second one is view and manipulate information about a session, such as creation time, last access time, and session identifier. How to get the session object? For that, we have to use some methods which is already available in HTTP session interface. Right? It provides us two different methods to get the object of HTTP session. These two methods are listed on screen. Number one is public HTTP session get session method, which returns the current session associated with the request, or if the request does not have a session, then create a new session. The second method is same method get session, but it has one parameter which returns the current HTTP session associated with the request. If there is no current session is created, then it created and then return a value of new session. Commonly used methods of HTTP session interface are also given on the screen. First one is get ID. This method returns a string containing the unique identifier value. The second method is get creation time, which returns the time when the session was created, measured in milliseconds, since midnight January 1st, 1917, according to GMT. Next method is get last access time. This method returns the last time the client sent a request associated with the session, as the number are mentioned in milliseconds, since midnight January 1st, 1970, according to Greenwich Mean Time. Next method is invalidate method. This method invalidates the session, then unbind any object related with current session. Now let us see how you can keep the track of any user through HTTP session. We'll try to understand these methods through one example. In this example, we are setting the attribute in the session scope in one servlet and getting that value from the session scope in another servlet. To set the attribute in the session scope, we have used set attribute method and HTTP from the HTTP session interface. And to get the attribute, we have used get attribute method again from the HTTP session interface. So let us begin with index.html file. On index page, we want a one text box with one submit button. That's it. We don't want to do any more coding in this page. Here we want to execute the action servlet 1 when we click on submit button, right? Now our first servlet, as we have done in our previous example, here again we'll take the first servlet and then second servlet, right? The same packages are required for this example also. We'll create one class with name first servlet, which extends HTTP servlet automatically. Then you can use either do get method or process request method. or else you can take do post method as well, right? It has two parameters of type HTTP servlet request and HTTP servlet response. Now we'll set the content type HTML and we'll define one object of printWriter class. Now, as we have used in the previous program, get parameter method to get the value of text box of HTML tag, right? Same method we have used over here and stored that value in n. Now a message on the screen will display the name of user, welcome message. Now these two lines are important for us. This is new for us and different than the previous example. Here what we are going to do is we are going to create a one object of HTTP session type with name session equals to request.get session. This method will get the session ID for a new client, right? Now session.set attribute. Through this method we can set the value for a session and we can define the name for this session using first parameter. Here the name of session is uname and the value of the session is n. Now we want to move on second servlet. For that you can create a link, right? Through a tag we can provide a link to our visitors. Here the text is visit. When the user click on visit link, will move on the second servlet, because here you can see the reference of second servlet over here, servlet 2. Let us see the coding of second servlet. Again we need 3 packages for this file. This class also extend the HTTP servlet. Again you can use doGet method or process method. Set the content type, create one object of printWriter class. Then here we'll define one object of HTTP session equals to request.get session. Then string n session.get attribute uname will convert this value into string, right? And then print hello plus n. This will show the same value which we have defined in the first servlet page. That's it. Now what about web XML file? In the web XML file we'll define the same tags as we have defined in our previous example of cookie. The name of servlet class is first servlet. The name defined for this servlet is S1. Similarly for second servlet, class is second servlet and the name defined for the servlet is S2. Now URL pattern for both the servlets /servlet1 for our first servlet and /servlet2 is the URL pattern of our second servlet. Okay, as I have told you that you can mention the name of welcome file if required. If your file's name is index.html, then no need to define this tag in your web XML file. Now let us move to NetBeans IDE and perform the same example. NetBeans IDE is opening. Create one new project. Here you can see the session demo is created. Create your web page, create your HTML page. For that select HTML and index page, create one index page and click on finish. Remove all the coding and type the coding as I have shown in document. As you can see the coding of index.html, We want one input type text box and one submit button in this page, right? Let us create one servlet page by right clicking on source packages, new, and then servlet. Define a class name. Here first servlet is a name of our class. Click on next button and add information to deployment descriptor. As you can see, the name of class is first servlet name is s1, and URL pattern is /servlet1. Click on finish. Remove all extra coding from your file, right? We don't want all these things. Remove commit portion also. This part we don't want. Keep the process request as it is and remove the code which is enclosed in try block, and put your own code between this block and import 3 packages. Here we have imported 3 packages, right? And we have done the coding for this page. Okay, as I explain you in our document, we'll get one value through this text box which is available in index.html page. Here it is, username, right? The same name you have to use in your first servlet page. That's it. And provide the link for second servlet, which is servlet 2. So you have to keep this thing in your mind before you create a second servlet, right? We'll use the same URL pattern in our web XML file. Now create one more servlet by right clicking on source packages, click on new and select servlet. Give an appropriate name to your second servlet. Here I am giving second servlet, as we have taken the same name in our document also. Click on next and select this checkbox to add some information to your deployment descriptor file, right? Change servlet name and URL pattern for your current servlet and click on finish. Again, this will create a new page and you can see that page on the screen, right? As we have done in first servlet page, remove all unnecessary code which comes by default whenever you create a servlet. We don't want all these packages, right? We'll continue with process request method. Instead of taking do get or do post method, we'll continue with this process request. Okay, the content type is already set and object out is already defined. Now remove the code which is enclosed between try block and insert your own code. Here it is, this is our code, right? We want the session which is already created by the first servlet page, and we want to access the value of that servlet in our current page, right? So for that we'll type request.get session. This method will return a value if your session exists. That's why I pass a false as a parameter, right? Now we want to get the value of uname. We can get the name of session through get attribute method. So for that we have to write session.get attribute with session name, which is defined in our first servlet page. Move to the first servlet. Here you can find the session with the name uname, right? And we have set the value for this variable in our first page. Now on the second page you can get the same attribute through get attribute method, and here we want to convert this value in string. We will assign the same value to the variable n of type string. Then simply we'll print the hello message with that value on the screen. For that we'll take out.print method hello plus n. Right, so this is all about second servlet page. Now let us go to web XML file. Go to XML tab, and you can see that this is automatically defined as we have selected that checkbox at the time of creation of servlet. Right, add the information in deployment descriptor file, and at the same time we had given some names to we have set some parameters for our servlet. Right, you can see that servlet name is s1, class is servlet class is first servlet, and the URL pattern for this servlet is /servlet1. Similarly for second servlet, the name is s2 and the URL pattern is /servlet. If this code is not required, you can remove this tag, session config, remove it, save your project and run the file. As you can see, the progress bar is running, and this will run the index.html, which is your welcome file. Right, here you can see the same screen as we have seen for the cookie example. You have to enter one name and then click on go. Okay, welcome Niharika, and as you can see here, one hyperlink is shown on the screen. You can click on this link and you will be moved to the next servlet. Here in your address bar you can see the value servlet1. Right, click on visit link. Now we are on the second servlet, means our second servlet is running. As we have set the URL pattern for this page /servlet2, so it is showing the same URL over here. Now you can pass on the same information for on the next page by set attribute and get attribute method. As we have used the get attribute method in second page, you can move the same information on third servlet page, and you can get the same information through get attribute in your third servlet page. So for practice purpose, develop your own servlet page and try to access the same information in your third servlet page. Right, you must note down the same example in your journal also. Okay, so this is all about session tracking. All the 4 ways are covered. This enough for this session. Right, will cover the servlet collaboration in next session. Till then, thank you.